An integral component of most audio systems is the digital-to-analog converter. It receives data from a digital device, such as a computer, TV or CD player, and converts that signal into analog audio that the human ear can then recognize as sound rather than just digital noise. This digital-to-analog converter, part of a product line of high-end audio components, has 4 inputs for different devices. It also has a built-in CD drive. Many of the converter's structural parts are made by computer-guided machines. This computer-guided lathe, for example, rotates an aluminium bar, which a cutting tool forms into one of the 4 legs that support the CD drive. This milling machine cuts and shapes most of the aluminium parts that make up the converter's chassis, the box that contains all the electronic components. The parts come off the mill with sharp burrs along their edges. So the next step is to trim them with a deburring tool. Technicians spray the trimmed chassis parts with black powder paint, then bake the paint in an oven to make it more durable. Labelling is printed on the chassis front and back panels by squeezing white epoxy paint through a silkscreen stencil. That paint is also then baked on. These grommets are made of a special type of silicon gel that dampens vibration by converting it into heat. They're installed in between the CD's drive support base and each of the feet to create a floating suspension system that protects the drive from vibration. Next, the CD drive is installed onto the support base. They add the drive's protective cover that prevents dust from getting into the CD optical reader. Meanwhile, a technician tests each of the converter's 5 circuit boards to make sure they function correctly. This board runs the LED display, which shows the selected input and other playback information. Once all the circuit boards have passed inspection, technicians solder the LED board to the front panel circuit board, which operates the converter's user controls. They insert brushed aluminium push buttons into the front panel's labelled holes. They then attach the front panel circuit board. This aligns the push buttons with the corresponding contacts on the board. The chassis' bottom, side and back panels are then assembled. The front panel, with its push-button controls, is attached, and in the centre is the opening for the CD drive. The technician visually inspects the converter's main circuit board, which converts the digital signal to analog. A microscope hooked up to a camera magnifies the board 50 times, so the technician can detect any soldering defects or other flaws. If the main circuit board passes inspection, they install it in the back of the converter, next to the power supply board. They then install the CD drive. This requires connecting 3 cables into the main board, 1 for the optical reader and 2 for the motors that open and close the loading tray and spin the compact disc. Before completing the converter by closing up the top, they test the CD drive, as well as the 4 other digital inputs, which are designed for connecting devices such as audio components, DVD players, TVs, and computers. The testing machine takes all kinds of measurements to ensure the converter performs to a list of technical specifications. If it passes inspection, they complete the assembly by attaching the top cover. This digital-to-analog converter is now ready to play its critical role in the audio system, reproducing sound for the discerning ear. So, no Justin Bieber then. or Phil Collins, thank you very much.